Welcome back to What's Up Stratford on our March Zoom edition. And joining me is Sadaf from the City of Stratford for the Program Manager of Climate Change, something like that. Sadaf, thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for having me today.
So you most recently came from New Westminster, BC. What are the differences and what do you want to accomplish here in Stratford?
Well, Peter, there are multiple differences between New Westminster and Stratford, especially the geography of the region. So, as you may be aware, New Westminster and most of BC is made up of mountains, and that has different challenges associated with people trying to decarbonize and taking climate action. Whereas Stratford and mostly a lot of Ontario is plain land. So, we do have different challenges also associated with the population. So the population in New Westminster was around 82,000 according to the 2021 census. And for Stratford, it is hovering around 33 to 34,000. So planning for Stratford is definitely for a different context, for a different demographic. So I'm hoping to engage on my learnings and experience from BC to Ontario and actually make sure that our city's response to climate action is equitable.
Yes, I think it's fascinating. The other thing I want to ask you, you have a master's degree from Australia. What is that in?
Well, I actually have two master's degrees. One of them is Master's of Project Management, and the second one is a Master's in Sustainability and Climate Policy.
That's awesome. You're implementing something I think very exciting, the Green Recognition Program. I believe it's next month in April. Tell us a bit about that program.
Of course. So the Green Recognition Program is a program that has been championed by the city's Energy and Environment Advisory Committee. And it's actually the first program that I have started implementing. I joined recently, a few months ago, and this is the first program that is underway. So applications are now open for the Green Recognition Program, which aims to recognize the efforts taken by different city individuals, both residents and businesses, to reduce their own greenhouse gas emissions, as well as amplify these strategies to inspire others in the community to make similar changes. As a bit of background, there are three categories for participation. These include waste reduction and diversion, electrification and energy management, as well as the Green Building Award. So there are a lot of details that we have included within the website, including the application form. So they're all available on the city's webpage for climate change, and I would encourage all community members to apply for it and check it out. Also to note that last day for application submission is March 17th, and the city, as well as the ENE, plan to recognize individuals and businesses within the week of Earth Day, that is around April 17 to 22nd. So we're really looking forward to a range of applications. We have received a number of applications and they're very exciting. So that's it.
That's awesome. You hear this accelerating decarbonization, and I think a lot of people almost get stressed out because they think it's too big of an issue. How can we bite this in smaller pieces as local citizens?
Well, as local citizens, it is important to understand that 98% of emissions of the entire city actually come from within the community. Taking Stratford as an example, on the community side, our biggest emitters are buildings, followed by transportation and waste. I understand that it's an overwhelming concept, and to take bite-sized information and steps, I would say baby steps toward our targets, is actually understanding what are different approaches that we can take toward first understanding where emissions are coming from and then reducing them in a way that can take place within the community itself. For example, buildings, because they're a top source of carbon emissions in the city and account for 47% of emissions. These emissions arise mainly from burning fossil fuels for space and water heating. So once we understand that, we also must understand that elimination of fossil fuels usage in homes is very important. So this can be done by switching to cleaner energy sources as well as there are so many ways through which we can take action on an individual level, be it by weatherizing our home through an airtight envelope, or upgrading insulation, or even installing an electric heat pump to replace aging natural gas furnaces. To aid in this transition, there are actually a number of rebates and incentives available from the federal government, specifically Natural Resources Canada, for upgrading gas vehicles to electric powered vehicles, or upgrading to a heat pump, or even installing home retrofits. I would encourage individuals to take advantage of these resources. Many of them are linked on the city's updated climate change webpage, and start taking action. Of course, the city, as well as myself, we're here to provide support for the entire community. So we're happy to develop more programs and make sure that there are engagement sessions in the future where the public can understand how and where we can take equitable action.
Sadaf, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for coming to Stratford, and best wishes for great success as you do change things within the city.
Excited to lead the change. Thank you for having me.
Coming up next is Andrew Williams from the Stratford General Hospital.